Hi, my name is Moses. I am one of the senior managers at Enable India. I have with my my colleague Deepthi, who has been an English trainer. Let's ask her what she has seen in her career, how different people learn English, and what are the secrets. Yes, Deepthi.
Hi, Moses.
Hi. Could you tell us what are the secrets of learning any language, in particular English?
Okay. See, I have been training people on learning English for over 13 years now, and I've seen people from different backgrounds, people from different economic backgrounds, from different social backgrounds, from different educational backgrounds. I have also trained people without disabilities, and now I'm working with people with disabilities.
So that means you did work with in the corporate world as well,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now, I find that the two big mantras in learning any language for that matter, one is exposure, the second is discipline.
Okay.
Now, when I say exposure, different people get different kinds of exposure to learning a new language.
Okay.
For example, a person, let's say two people with the same, who are at the same level in English. One grows up in an urban setup, the other is in a rural setup. The kind of exposure a person in an urban setup gets is much more than a person in rural area.
Correct.
So the person in the urban area will pick up the language much faster than the person in the rural area.
Okay.
Now
the person with rural in rural India has that aptitude to learn.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the person in the rural world will have to take that much more effort to give himself that exposure.
True.
Similarly, now if I look at a sighted person and a person with vision impairment.
Correct.
A sighted person, a lot of words will hit the sighted person when he looks at advertisements, when he looks at, when he casually looks at a newspaper, a magazine, when you're waiting at a reception and you're just flipping through pages.
True.
A lot of words will just hit you. This may not happen with a person with vision impairment.
True.
So the person with vision impairment has to take that much more effort to make words hit him.
Yes.
So that's where exposure is very important.
It may be consciously asking people what is there in the advertisements,
Yes,
or
absolutely.
reading newspaper.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to consciously make that effort. There are a lot of sighted people who may not read a newspaper, but then who may just see newspapers lying around and some word may catch their attention.
Yes.
So something will get into their vocabulary.
Correct.
But a sighted person with vision impairment has to make a conscious effort to actually go through a newspaper simply because he has to give himself that exposure.
Okay.
So that's how important exposure is in learning a language.
Correct.
The second important thing in learning a language is discipline.
Oh.
Now when I say discipline, when you pick up a new word, your memory is not going to help you always.
True.
So the first important discipline that you should develop is how to keep track of these new words that you learn, because you're making a conscious effort to learn a language.
Correct.
So helping yourself with a good note-taking device,
True.
which you can refer, which you can go back to, and with ease. You should be able to do it with ease.
Okay.
So helping yourself with that kind of a note-taking device is very important.
Okay.
Now a sighted person may carry a small pocket diary where he quickly notes down words. A person with vision impairment may have a recorder with him always.
Yes.
Or maybe a braille slate will be very bulky to carry everywhere. So a recorder or a cell phone where he constantly records words, that could be an easy way to take down notes.
Yeah.
But the important thing is to take down notes as part of discipline.
Okay.
Now, it's not enough if you just take down notes, because if you don't go back to these notes and if you don't find out the meaning of these words, find out the usage of these words and actually use these words, there's no point in taking down new words every time.
Yeah.
So that's another discipline that you have to cultivate.
Yes.
Saying I have to use these new words, I have to stop using the old usual common words that I've been using, and I have to start using new words.
Yes.
That is the second discipline that you have to cultivate. Now, attitude plays a very important role. Why? Because whenever I learn a language, I am definitely not going to master the language in a very short span of time.
True.
I should have the attitude to make mistakes and not feel ashamed of those mistakes. I should be open to criticism. I should be open to people correcting me whenever I make mistakes. and I should not feel shy or humiliated whenever that happens.
Sure.
So attitude plays a very, very important role in learning a language.
Sure. If people say, oh my God, I'm scared to speak, I don't know,
Yes.
it's not going to help.
Yes.
Right.
People refuse to speak a language. They just take down notes and learn new words, but they refuse to speak and try it out, mainly because of the attitude issue.
Yes.
So exposure, discipline, and let's say the third mantra is attitude to
Sure.
learn a language. Now, actually, I know of a case. I know of a person who came from a rural background in North India.
Okay.
He was a person with vision impairment, and he came for the training. And his English needed a lot of improvement.
Okay.
He was good in everything else, but his English was one big challenge for everybody.
Okay.
And everybody's worry was, how is he going to get placed in a company with this kind of an English?
Okay.
But thankfully for him, his attitude helped him a lot.
Okay.
And his discipline helped him a lot. And he meticulously followed all these processes of taking down new words. He refused to speak in any regional language. He was willingly making mistakes so that
Okay.
he can correct his mistakes, and he didn't make those mistakes again.
Sure.
Once he got corrected, he didn't make those mistakes again. So he followed all this, and he mingled with people who knew good English. That is where the exposure comes. He didn't mingle only with people from his native and things like that, or the Hindi speaking folk. He didn't do that.
Okay.
He mingled with everybody and gave himself that exposure. He started watching news channels. He
Oh.
started reading newspapers, even though he didn't understand a lot of words. So
Okay.
he developed exposure, he developed discipline, he already had the good attitude to learn the language, and today he is working in an MNC as a receptionist. That's his first job.
Okay.
And he is doing really well. You will
Okay.
never say that this was the person who first came in for training.
Wonderful.
Yes. So,
Thank you very much for sharing. I
Thank
think this will really help anybody who is listening to it
Absolutely.
to follow this, and
Yes.
I think they will be able to learn any language.
Yes, it's a matter of time. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's a matter of consistency.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Sure.